Hello, everybody. Thank you for your interest in this study that is entitled A Systematic Literature Review on the Role of Technology in Supporting and Preserving Individual Identities. This study has been conducted by myself. I'm Cristina Huertas-Abril from the University of Cordoba, Spain, and also I have developed this project together with my colleague Francisco Javier Palacios-Hidalgo from the same university. This project is part of a larger European project called Identities that I will present at the end of this video. So, the table of contents of this literature review is as can be seen on the screen. First, we will start with the introduction, then, we will present the methodology. We will have the preliminary findings and also the discussion and conclusion. And we will finish this video with the references and, of course, the acknowledgement to the project. So let's start with the introduction. Well, as we'll know, the role of technology in supporting and preserving individual identities, especially in the case of minority languages, is nowadays specifically significant in our global and globalized society. As the world becomes more interconnected, the preservation of linguistic diversity faces challenges from dominant languages that often overshadow minority languages, which, following Garcia and Lin in 2016, are actually minoritized. This phenomenon raises critical questions about how individuals maintain their cultural identity and also their heritage in a rapidly changing linguistic landscape. In this context, the intersection of technology, multilingualism, and identity is a vital area of inquiry, particularly as it pertains to the rights and recognition of speakers of minority languages. Multilingualism is not only a linguistic phenomenon, it is deeply intertwined with identity formation and cultural expression. And this connection with technology is particularly crucial for minority language speakers, as the loss of language can lead to a diminished sense of identity and belonging. In fact, technology can play a transformative role in supporting individuals' identities and modes of self expression, and digital platforms provide spaces where minority language speakers can engage with their communities, share cultural narratives, and access resources in their languages. Um, Moreover, technological innovations not only empower individuals to maintain their linguistic heritage, but also enhance their visibility and representation in a predominant monolingual English world. When individuals engage with the technology in their native or home languages, they assert their cultural identity and challenge the dominance of those majority languages. And the use of minority languages in digital communication can serve as a form of resistance against linguistic assimilation and cultural erasure, then reinforcing the idea that all languages hold intrinsic value and also deserve recognition. In fact, as Riera Hill states, communication and identity are linked because languages chosen for communication speak about their speakers, so that identity showed through the use of a particular language impacts on communication effectiveness. And this author says that it is for this reason that, in a given context, the best choice for succeeding in communication may be using a local minority language rather than a wider majority language. In fact, for refugees and migrants, the role of identity in technology mediated communication is particularly moving, as we can see in this quotation by Op that reads as follows: when you're a small farmer and let's say you are disrupted by conflict, you cross a border and all of your history is lost if you have lost your documentation. Even if you haven't, it may not be valid. But if you've got something that is stored on a digital identity, you can use that history wherever you go. So, the use of these languages in digital communication can also provide refugees and migrants with a sense of continuity, commitment, and belonging. So, considering this, a systematic study on how technology affects the identity of speakers of minority languages, including migrants and refugees, is necessary and timely. So, the main objective of this paper is to develop a systematic literature review on the identity of speakers of minoritized languages when using technology within and beyond educational contexts. So, regarding the methodology, we'll start with the research design and procedure. And for this systematic literature review, we are using Prisma preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta analysis for protocols, described by Moher et al. In 2015, which is a systematic review methodology because it offers a clear a priori roadmap to conduct a rigorous systematic literature review. And for this, we follow three main steps: search strategy, the screening, and the coding. In our case, for the search strategy, well, the database used for this literature review was Scopus, aiming to guarantee the utmost quality of the studies, and we used the search query that can be seen on the screen. Then we moved to the part of screening, and the search resulted in 451 studies for possible inclusion in the study. And after the initial retrieval, two screening processes were conducted, considering the inclusion and exclusion criteria that can be seen on screen. For example, peer reviewed articles or book chapters, original research in the period 2020 2024, and written in English. So after the initial screening, and we are going to show the Prisma flow, um, the 451 were sought for retrieval, but 88 were not accessible or not retrieved, leading to 363 publications assessed for legibility. Then we followed and we consider, the exclusion of some publications after, following the iterator reliability measurements. And finally, after all these processes, 11 final papers were selected for inclusion in this research. After this, we moved to the coding, okay, and the 11 papers selected were coded using content analysis conducted in vivo using Atlas TI for macOS. After independent coding, the two researchers demonstrated 95% inter-rater agreement, and following collaborative review of inconsistent classifications, we reached unanimous coding consensus. So, regarding the findings, we have prepared for this presentation a table that has 5 columns: the ID, the authors to identify the reference, the research design, the context, and the participants, and then the connections between technology, identity, and minority languages. So, for example, in this first paper, that for us is ID 21 by Ajani et al., published in 2024. It is a qualitative research that employs a comprehensive review of literature. Okay, and this study emphasizes that indigenous knowledge systems are deeply intertwined with the identity, spirituality, and cultural heritage of the communities that speak those languages. And they mention several technologies, including digital archives, mobile applications, online resources, AI, and virtual reality as tools for documenting and also revitalizing indigenous knowledge. The second paper is by Enser et al., also published in 2024, that emphasizes the idea of dynamic cultural identity by following a multimodal social network analysis. And this study challenges prevailing notions of entertainment by showcasing a diverse range of cultural manifestations. The next paper is by Ungar and Seymour, 2024, and they focus on refugee children and young adults up to 25 years old. And this paper addresses the importance of flexible and tailored digital identity that works especially adequately for refugees, and highlights the challenges faced in utilizing humanitarian identity systems and the need for digital credentials to ensure that refugee children's educational and health needs are met effectively in these complex situations. We also have Mianbo and Funya that published their paper on 2024 that focuses the challenges of language loss, shift, and death, highlighting that language is closely tied to cultural identity. These authors defend the importance of preserving indigenous languages to maintain cultural heritage and identity. And also, they suggest that the revitalization of these languages can strengthen those community bonds and also individual identities among the different speakers. Then we have the study by Lee and Casania in 2023 that is qualitative, and in here uh, they present how participation in community can foster the empowerment of identity. And in this case, they mainly use it with informal language learning mediated by music. In the case of Mackenzie Atalianis et al. 2023, it's again qualitative, but they focus on this case, in this case, on six resettled Syrian refugees in the UK with different educational backgrounds. And this study reveals that Facebook can be used as a platform for these refugees to construct and negotiate their complex multimedia and multidimensional identities. In the case of Npofu et al., it is about indigenous language media when shaping and expressing cultural identities, and they defend the role that media can play. And similarly, in our paper 223, it is about the use of Twitter to engage with Irish language campaigns. We also have other two papers connected to the multi dimensions of identities mediated by technology, as in the case of social networks and translation tools, and also the complexity of digital archiving and all the social emotional components in here. And the last paper that we have is another qualitative study that also emphasizes the dynamic and multifaceted construct shaped by cultural narratives and experiences. Regarding the discussion and conclusion, we have found four key areas: the challenges, but also the options, the possibilities for marginalized populations. Also, the importance of technology-driven language preservation and revitalization. We have found several theoretical and methodological insights, and we see that the connections between digital identity, cultural expression, and community engagement. So we can see on these papers the transformative role that technology can play in addressing linguistic, cultural, and social challenges, at the same time that they emphasize the complexities of identity, accessibility, and equity. So, to attach myself to time, here are the references used for the paper. And finally, we have the acknowledgement that is the Plural Identities Project funded by the European Union. and led by the VUB in Brussels. So thank you very much for your interest, and we will be more than happy to answer all your comments or questions about this study using the forum or our emails. Thank you very much.